I didn't cry when they slid the termination papers across the glossy conference table. I didn't blink when my boss called me Nana, the way you'd pat a dog before putting it down. I only watched the intern, my intern, hover behind HR with her eyes lowered like she didn't already know. That was the inciting moment. The exact second the world snapped clean in half. I signed, stood, packed, walked out. Silence was my last courtesy to them. They mistook it for defeat. They always did. Back then, when this all began, she'd arrived timid, sleeves too long, voice too soft, a stray kitten in corporate clothing. "Can I sit here?" she'd whispered on her first day, clutching a notebook like a shield. I'd smiled. "You already are." She learned fast. Too fast, maybe. But I'd been proud. God, that's the humiliating part. I taught her everything, the systems, the clients, the shortcuts that took me a decade to carve out with bloody fingernails. And she absorbed it all, eyes wide, grateful, eager, or so I thought. The first sign was small, a forwarded email she accidentally sent me, a thread between her and my boss. She's stuck in old methods. I can bring a fresh approach. Old, methods, fresh. My fingerprints were still drying on every skill she bragged about. The second sign wasn't small at all. My name removed from a major project I built. Her name dropped into the lead slot like I'd never existed. No explanation, no oversight. Just the quiet erasure of a woman who took too long to learn not everyone who calls you mentor means it. But I didn't react. Reaction is what guilty people look for. Instead, I watched, listened, documented, and waited. When they fired me, something inside me didn't break, it aligned. People say revenge erupts. Mine calcified. The moment I stepped out of that building, I started planning. Every folder I'd backed up, every message I'd archived, every project file with metadata showing my original authorship, every discrepancy in the company's budget cut narrative, every screenshot of their quiet plotting to replace me with someone half my age and a quarter my salary. I didn't need to raise my voice, I just needed to open the right doors. The plan had 5 steps, all simple, all devastating. Step 1, legal. I sent everything, every misstep, ageist comment, improper documentation process, to an employment lawyer who practically salivated over the case. Wrongful termination dressed up as restructuring? They might as well have handed me the lawsuit in a gift bag. Step 2, financial. I contacted 3 major clients, ones I had personally secured, and let them know, politely, that I was no longer overseeing their accounts. 2 of them followed me to my new consulting business within a week. The third froze their contract with the company until leadership stabilized. Leadership didn't stabilize. Step 3, internal. My exit interview recording, yes, I recorded it, captured my boss accidentally admitting the real reason they fired me. Illegal? Yes. Useful? Extremely. I forwarded it anonymously to the board. Step 4, public. A quiet leak to a journalist who owed me a favor. Just enough detail to paint the picture. Age discrimination, mishandled funds, a pattern of replacing senior staff with unpaid interns. The story climbed fast. Step 5, personal. For her, the intern. I didn't ruin her career. I didn't have to. I just made sure the board saw the emails she wrote, trashing employees, mocking clients, bragging about getting the old lady out of the way. She'd typed those messages on company devices, on unsecured Wi-Fi, with backups she didn't know were automated. By the time the board finished reading, she wasn't an asset, she was a liability. The confrontation came 3 months later. Not dramatic, fittingly dull, actually. I was exiting a cafe when I saw her sitting alone on the curb outside the building across the street. Cardboard box in her lap, mascara streaked like rain. She stood when she saw me. How did you?" I held up a hand. "I trained you. I said softly, "but you never studied me." Her throat tightened. She understood then how every step she'd taken had led her exactly here. She reached for an apology. I didn't need it. I walked past her, the way she once walked past me in that HR office. Only this time, she didn't have a building to go back into. Resolution. People imagine revenge feels like fire. Mine felt like oxygen. Clean, necessary, quiet. They taught me everything I needed to know about betrayal. I taught them everything they needed to know about consequences. And now I sleep fine. Because some endings don't require applause, just accuracy.